Welcome to another exciting episode of the Ultimate Comics Podcast. My name is Nabeel Gaber, and I'm one of your hosts.
I'm Josh Kang, the other host.
And this is the podcast where we talk about Ultimate Marvel, an imprint of Marvel that began in the year 2000. It was meant to modernize and reimagine Marvel and its characters for the 21st century, make it more accessible for new readers, and add some interesting 21st century twists for longtime fans. Josh and I, every episode, have been going over a different batch of issues from this imprint of Marvel, including titles such as Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, The Ultimates, Ultimate Fantastic Four. You get the idea. We've just been doing like a look back and a deep dive into this imprint of Marvel from 20 years ago before it was revived once again back in 2023. So,
we are almost done with Ultimate Marvel because it's 2006. Ultimate Marvel officially ends 2015.
I mean, there's like still 9 more years of content.
But we zipped through
so
six.
much more.
We zipped through 6 years in
That's
little
that's
over
nothing
a
to
year.
scoff at. Yeah. We're putting a dent in it at least. Yeah.
I will say, if it was for the podcast, like a regular person could read through at this point all of Ultimate Marvel in like a decent amount of time, actually, because you could just read all at once now.
Yeah, looking at the reading guide, we have like a little over 700 issues that we're reading through for the whole podcast. Oh man, we're gonna have so many episodes by the end of this, but it'll be fun. It'll be worth it.
And then we got the new Ultimate, or whatever the new Ultimate Universe is called.
And then we will eventually get to the new Ultimate Marvel stuff, which is going to end very soon.
We got to do a special episode when it ends.
Oh yeah, just an RIP.
Yeah,
just like in memoriam. Ultimate
memorial.
Marvel. Take 2.
We gotta erase you fast enough. The other one we gotta ask is, does the Ultimate Marvel games count as canon? I know one of them does, but
like Ultimate Spider-Man, the video game?
Ultimate Spider-Man, but also Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, if you count that one.
I think that one is really just Marvel vs. Capcom.
It's Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. That's the official title.
They call it that, but like it doesn't. I don't think it has anything to do with like Ultimate Marvel. I don't think that was the idea.
I guess not, because War Machine's like was there instead of Iron Man for a while.
Marvel vs. Capcom, no matter the version, has just a lot of 90s vibes to it. So this was pre-Ultimate Marvel.
Have you ever played Marvel vs. Capcom?
I love Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh, me too. Why is Shima Garath a character in Marvel vs. Capcom? Is my question. There's just some obscure stuff like War Machine, but not Iron Man until like later.
Let's do a bonus episode on Marvel vs. Capcom, and then we can talk about that. But
It'll be a streaming episode.
I need to finish this introduction, Josh. We talk about the issues from Ultimate Marvel. We talk about what we like, what we might not like as much. We break it all down. We talk about things that have influenced Marvel comics and also other media such as animation, movies, TV series. And so this episode is the finale to the Ultimate Galactus trilogy. We were talking about the Ultimate Extinction miniseries 1 through 5. So we did Ultimate Nightmare, we did Ultimate Secret, now we're on Ultimate Extinction, written by Warren Ellis and illustrated by Brandon Peterson this time. So Josh, what do you think of these issues?
I generally liked it. You and I have discussed that I wasn't too fond of one aspect of the ending. I feel some of the stuff regarding Rita was a little off, but look, generally I like this. I think it was a fun comic. It was a good way to end this arc, and I really love this idea of this is a sci-fi apocalypse story that just happens to have superheroes in it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. I think this is a great finale. It's very bombastic. It's very sci-fi. It is larger than, like, the stakes are as high as they can possibly be in this finale. And I think it does stick the landing for sure. So it's a very, very exciting comic. I think everything kind of culminates in a very satisfying conclusion. There are, of course, flaws. It's not a perfect comic by any means.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
I will say, this introduces the idea of Galactus being this, not a person like he is in 616, but like this disembodied being, which in 2000, so this comes out 1 year before Rise of the Silver Surfer.
That is right, when they did our boy dirty.
Okay, why is he dirty in the movie, but in this one he's fine?
I mean, I'm not a fan of Ultimate Galactus in general, either.
You just like the story.
Yeah, the story's great. I feel like there's a lot of good character moments. I think the story is really well told. It's an objectively well done comic. I'm personally not a fan of Galactus when Galactus finally arrives in this, because nothing is going to beat my giant purple king. I don't think anything can top that. OG
Doesn't he have children now?
Galactus. He does?
Yeah, he has a daughter or something.
Oh my gosh, I don't know about any of that. He's got like a billion heralds that I consider
Yeah.
his children, but
A part of him got ripped away, and that part of him that got ripped away became another Galactus, but female.
all right. Well, the more
Meaning
you
he's
know.
part plant. I think that's how plants reproduce. For
Yeah,
some of
no,
them.
seriously, he's asexual.
Yeah.
Asexual reproduction. He's
Yeah.
like a single-celled organism at that
I
point.
would be terrified to be like an organism that reproduces asexually because I'm like, oh, I clip my toenails. Well, I just have 7 kids to pay child support to.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that's awful. That's awful to
Yeah.
think about.
Yeah.
It's like way too easy to have kids at that point. Yeah, let's just get right into these issues. We start issue number 1 at the Triskelion, the headquarters of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And there's multiple helicarriers for
Yes. Yeah, this is the big HQ for S.H.I.E.L.D. So there's just helicarriers flying around left and right,
Yeah.
coming and going. And we start off with Sam Wilson, who we met back in
Yeah.
Ultimate Nightmare, aka the Falcon, also
Yeah.
known as Captain America in the current comics. But he meets up with Carol Danvers, who we also met, and Captain Marvel, and we met both of those guys in Ultimate Secret. So everything's coming together, and they shake hands and everything. And Carol's like, "Oh, you can just call him Captain Marvel." And then Marvel's like, "No, I like it. He's like the only one of you who pronounces my name correctly." So they're all getting together, having some chit chat. Reed Richards and Sue Storm of the Fantastic Four arrive. And there's like a fun bit of dialogue where Sue's asking Carol, like, "Oh yeah, how are things going with Captain Marvel?" Because she's like Captain Marvel's security detail.
And she's like, how's your alien boyfriend doing?
Yeah, and she's like, "But I don't want to talk about that." And Sue's like, "Yeah, don't worry, we'll go shopping, and then you can tell me all about it." And Carol's like, "Okay." I'm like, "Wait a minute, suddenly
They're
they're dating now?"
they're not dating. It's a jest. It's a jest.
I don't know. Carol seemed actually like okay with the two of them going shopping and talking about this.
I think it's because she had a stressful week and she's trying to decompress, go on a little vacation with a homie, go shopping apparently, because that's what girls did in the 2000s, according to all the Disney stuff.
Yeah, no, there's always a big shopping spree. There's always a big fashion montage. That's what a Cinderella story taught me, anyways.
Oh my gosh, I loved the Cinderella story as a kid because they filmed it in the town I was living in,
Oh, nice.
like parts of it in the town I was living in. So I was like, I know that area. Yeah, but okay, I always was bothered by shopping sprees. I'm like, so when you become a teenager, you just have money, and when I was a teenager, no, and when I was an adult, still no.
Well, you weren't a teenage girl.
So teenage girls just get money. It's your rite of passage.
Oh, from what I've heard from my sisters and friends of mine that are women, people just give you money for clothes and shopping.
That is okay. That is to a certain degree true. I remember when I had a girlfriend, and
Hmm.
she never had money, but she always bought clothes somehow, and I always wondered how.
It's the magic of being a woman.
I just assumed it was like it was part of her essential budget, along with rent and food, was clothes.
Yeah, I mean, that is essential. Clothing is essential for anyone, but
Fast fashion is not even bad. It's cheap and it lasts for years. I don't know why people throw it out after 1 year.
you tell them, Josh.
Thank you. It's not your people's fault this world's being polluted. It's your fault.
My fault.
Okay, it's not the product's fault. It's not just the product. It's your fault for throwing it away. Because most things that are bad, you could use over and over again. Just saying.
Okay. Don't
Yeah,
point fingers at me, though. I didn't do anything.
It's everyone.
All right, good. It's not just me then.
Yeah, not just you.
But yeah, then Nick Fury arrives too and asks everyone for their presentation because they have all the data they've collected from the Vision, who they found at the end of Ultimate Nightmare, and the Kree database that they got at the end of Ultimate Secret. So they have all the tools they need to succeed and learn about like who this Galactus character is and what's going to happen. So Reed does this whole like holographic like 3D simulation he put together in front of everyone showing what Galactus does when Galactus devours a planet or ends a world.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, no, it's a horrifying presentation because first Galactus will like drive people crazy with fear, send this like ray or something that's gonna like send everyone crazy and into a frenzy and they're all gonna be panicking. Then a flesh-eating virus is gonna come down and like basically turn people into zombies. So people are screwed from the get-go.
Its size is enough to just create its own gravity that'll just destroy. Once it's close enough, will just start destroying cities on its own too.
Yes, exactly. And then the final coup de grace is that Galactus then devours like the thermal energy of the Earth's core, leaving it the planet uninhabitable, and it means that any further life will be unable to be created on
Intelligent
Earth.
life.
Yeah, no intelligent life
Maybe the
will be able
roaches
to
will
form.
survive.
Yeah, maybe.
They say it'll take 23 and a half hours before humankind is defeated. There's
Yeah.
no hope after 23 and a half hours.
Like, not even a full day. Like, we're fucked.
I think it probably would take him like 2 days, but he just wants to rush just to spite everyone.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Let's just get this out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, you guys don't need this.
It says also 50,000 will be dead in Manhattan in just the first hour.
Yes.
Which shows you how much ridiculous time they're working with.
It's going to happen so quickly, and he's going to hit you hard and hit you fast.
Yeah.
So at the end of this presentation, everyone is speechless. They're like no one says a word after this. There's a panel of them all just like looking shocked with no words. And then this is where it gets really interesting, because we cut to a private investigator, Misty Knight, who we get introduced to in Ultimate Marvel, who is a private investigator in the main universe as well. So this is interesting because I'm like, all right, we're veering off from like end of the world and just going much smaller scale here. And Misty is taking on like a case of, there's a man who comes in and says that like he claims his wife has been abducted by this cult leader, Paul Maitreya, and then he's like saying that she was abducted and she's been missing, and this is a trend, like a lot of like wealthy women have been abducted and taken and hustled for their money. And so Misty like calls her old partner from when she was on the police force and asks for some information on this cult leader, and then learns that her old partner, his wife, was abducted too. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, your wife too? That's crazy. So this is wild. And she goes across the street from the Paul Maitreya's place. She like cases the joint as a classic PI does, and she's like got the binoculars and everything.
Like a stalker.
She's sitting in an abandoned like apartment building that is going to be renovated soon, and she's looking across the street, and there's a guy in like a cloak and a hood surrounded by all these women. It's very culty. This is like very much a cult situation. And he takes off the hood and he's glowing, and I knew as soon as I saw, before he even took it off, the cloak, this is the Silver Surfer. And also he takes off the cloak and he's got wings, which is insane.
Yeah, it's a different take.
This is a very different take on the Silver Surfer. It's going to get weirder and crazier as we go on, but I'm like, I was not prepared for this, but I'm like, okay, so this is how this all ties in to Galactus.
Why is he only abducting women so far? Like, he doesn't even have a penis.
He's got the sauce, though. That's what he's got. He's got that riz about him, as the kids say.
I don't think the kids say that anymore.
What? Kids say that
all
the time.
No, we say it because we're old.
Oh, don't remind me. But anyways, after Josh reminds me of my mortality, then the surfer gets hit with a bullet from across the way, and Misty is not the one to shoot. She looks over and she sees who I recognize as Moondragon, who was an Avenger introduced in like the 70s, whose backstory is way too complicated for me to get into, honestly, and I don't care enough about the character to explain. Misty like looks over and then like chases her, this woman, like down the stairs and everything. It's this like fast-paced chase sequence, and she spots a tattoo on this woman's arm, and then they're fighting, and Misty gets her sleeve cut, revealing she's got a cybernetic arm, just like Misty Knight in the main universe. But unfortunately, the issue ends with the woman escaping from Misty. So there's so many questions that need answers from the end of this first issue. I'm like, all right, I'm hooked. Let's hear it. What's going on?
Have you ever been investigated by a PI, Nabeel?
No.
You haven't had one of those office jobs where they go like, sign some documents so we can have a PI investigate you first for like background checks?
No, have you?
Yeah, almost every job I've had. Like, to me, I'm like, oh guys, you guys are the nerds who like make me sign these random ass documents.
How many times have you been investigated?
This one like 5 times, 3 or 4 times.
5 times?
Yeah, most like big boy jobs when you join, they go sign the document and we'll have a PI investigate you in your background history.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, you've never had a background check from your job.
I've had background checks. I've never had anything that says like a PI is going to investigate you.
And they check your criminal history.
Well, yeah, of course they check your
Yeah,
criminal history.
yeah, they literally tell you the company that'll do it. It's always a private detective company.
Maybe I just haven't been reading the fine print. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, Misty Knight's been stalking your ass, and you just never noticed.
She's been casing my joint. She's been like looking across the street with binoculars.
I was like, this kid's kind of boring.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there reading comics, honestly, or recording this podcast.
Just like, this is boring as hell. I'm going home.
Yeah, I don't even see what's going on. The next issue begins back at the Triskelion. Reed Richards is arguing with Nick Fury because he's like, hey, I work the best at the Baxter building.
And not as a team person.
Yeah, and Fury's like, you gotta, like, get with it. You have to be a team player. Like, we need you here in case of any emergency. And Reed's like, it's only 10 minutes away.
I'm the nerd who's dating the hot girl, and you're the jock. That's what he says.
Well, literally, Fury's like, you gotta be a team player, but I guess you didn't play a lot of ball in high school. And then Reed gives this whole speech about, yeah, I stayed in and studied like a good little nerd. And then I was like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. And then he's like, yeah, and now I'm dating the hottest girl on the planet. And the big man who was the quarterback in high school who played ball, like, he's asking for my help. And I'm like, damn. And then I'm like, this is exactly the speech from Rise of the Silver Surfer. And then I looked it up and I'm like, this is a year before that movie came out. I'm like, they used the same speech. That's crazy.
I also think, so you told me before we recorded, this was originally planned to be done by Mark Millar. I felt this is one of the original, more Mark Millar-ish quotes that Reed does.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, this is something that Mark Millar would write too.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is like before he got sick, if this is one of the stuff he wrote, and then, you know.
I don't know. I think that is just Warren Ellis because Mark Millar was supposed to write originally this whole trilogy, and this is the last one in the trilogy. So I don't think he got that far in it before Warren Ellis was just given the project.
I mean, Harry Potter, the last chapter of the last book was written before like most of the other books, so you never know.
Maybe, but I'm doubtful at this point. As far as I know, it was Warren Ellis.
Did you like the Rise of the Silver Surfer movie? I have never finished it.
You never finished it? It's a short movie.
I never pirated it as a kid. I could only watch it if it's in someone's house.
Really? Your parents didn't let you go see it?
No, they did not. I saw the first one, weirdly enough, so.
Listen, I'm attached to those movies from the 2000s. I know they're not good, per se, but they were fun, and maybe it's my nostalgia speaking, but I enjoyed them. And I know the Fantastic Four have much better stories in the comics and like are told much better than in the movies. But I have a soft spot for those movies. They're fun, at least.
They're not terrible, right?
Yeah, they're not terrible. Galactus is a cloud, and that sucks.
He's a clown in this one, basically.
Yeah, that's not great either.
I will say, Captain Holt, if you guys watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, is in this. Yeah, he's the general.
Yeah, and he was originally supposed to be Nick Fury.
But what happened?
I don't think they were able to, like,
get the rights
that out, I guess. Yeah, they didn't have the rights for the character, maybe, or whatnot, because it was Fox that had the Fantastic Four rights.
Yeah. It's always a weird one where, like, who has the rights to what? Because I remember Marvel wasn't sure if they had the rights to Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver for a while.
Yeah, so they kind of had shared custody with Fox. Anyways, so Fury's like, okay, fine, you can stay in the Baxter building, but we're going to have a chopper stationed outside, and as soon as anything happens, you're going to get your ass over here. Then S.H.I.E.L.D's telescope, they get an image. It's like their version of the Hubble telescope, but even more powerful.
Yeah, it's called the Sentry.
Yeah, the Sentry. They get like an image of a giant swarm around Jupiter, which is Galactus. This giant swarm is Galactus. It's like one single organism, but it's a swarm intelligence.
Yeah.
And is almost 100,000 miles long. And they say that it's 1 week away. And to me, I'm like, this is like the annihilation wave is what I thought of.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they're not like a swarm intelligence, but I was like, yeah, this is not Galactus. This is so radically different from Galactus.
I do find it funny that Reed's like, oh, can I borrow Sentry? And Fury's like, no. And I'm like, yeah, you were just a dick to him, so yeah. Like,
well, he's like, can I borrow it? And he's like, well, can you ask? Like, I'm not your dad and you're asking to borrow the car or something? Like, can we do another take of that?
Yeah. I will say this makes sense of why when 616 Galactus, spoilers, shows up in the Ultimate Universe, everyone freaks out even more.
Because they're like, oh shit, that man's massive. He's actually a giant dude. That's a serious threat, yeah.
I mean, I feel like this Galactus, him eating is kind of semi-metaphorical. Well, like, if it's a dude, you go like, oh shoot. He's got a nom nom nom.
That's a giant man. His teeth are gonna start gnashing all of us.
We have some teeth for this.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
And then we get Captain America having a serious crisis of faith as the good boy from like the 40s that he is. He's literally like, "Do you believe in God, General?" And he's like, "What? Why?" And he's like, "No one believes in God in this time anymore." You know, like he's really like going into like the full like good Christian boy routine.
I don't like how conservative Steve Rogers is. It's not against conservatism. I just don't like how conservative he is.
Yeah, this Ultimate Captain America is very like conservative, especially if you compare him to like 616 Captain America, who
Yeah.
has like in the past like stood up for like gay people and people of color and like all sorts of minorities.
I think this is what like certain people think the greatest generation were like when they're really just thinking of boomers, because the greatest generation was pretty progressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Ultimate Cap is really depicted as this like conservative all-American white boy who's
He would
just
have
like
loved Ronald Reagan.
yeah, yeah, honestly. He's like, no one believes in God anymore. Meanwhile, 616 Cap is like so against the Reagan administration. He disavows and like denounces the title of Captain America and just gives it up.
Did you know church attendance before World War II was really low, and it only went up after World War II when everyone was just traumatized about fighting a Second World War?
Damn. Well, yeah, then he went under before the end of World War II. So yeah, that's crazy, statistically speaking.
Look, even if he believes in God, which I like, probably he will, or if
Yeah.
he's religious, he has to be more understanding because that's most people his generation.
Yeah. I mean, damn. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think the bigger point he's making is he's like, this is an evil that's too big
yeah,
for me to hit, which makes sense. I feel
yeah.
like Captain America and a few other characters like Misty Knight too add in this sense of humanity and like smaller scale to this story. Like Captain America at the end of the day, he is just a soldier. That's what he's meant to be. He's meant to be on the ground. Yeah, he's a guy.
Yeah.
And so it can be so overwhelming when you're faced with this like 100,000 mile long like world ending threat. And he's like, I feel so helpless and so powerless.
Have you ever read H.P. Lovecraft?
I have not.
Oh, but like it's about cosmic horror. You know,
Yeah.
that's Galactus. He is a form of cosmic horror, and this time science is advanced enough to just describe it. But you go like, but we may not be able to stop it. He's 100,000 miles long. He's gonna
Yeah.
show up on Earth in a week, and we have 23 hours to beat him, which we don't have the technology to beat. It's a mix of like you don't know this, but also you know just enough about this to be terrifying.
Yeah. It's like existential dread.
Yeah.
Like the world is going to end and we don't know how to stop it.
I think in 616, some people just describe, oh, we just consider Galactus a god because he eats planets. Like, what else is he?
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. It makes you question your faith in God, just like Captain America here. Like
Yeah.
he's like, I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't even know if I believe in God at this point anymore, which is
Yeah.
very sad.
Yeah. I would lose my faith in everything if I found out. Like, like 100,000 mile long cloud is going to come to eat your planet.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
at least hit me with a crisis of faith for sure.
It's like, what's the point of life? Is this the end? You just die of a cloud?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
But then we cut back to Misty Knight, continuing her investigation. She's talking to friends on the Force, including Jean
The
DeWolf,
wolf.
who we've seen in Ultimate Spider-Man, and they're
Yeah.
helping her figure out who this bald woman was that like tried to assassinate the cult leader. And it's also revealed during this conversation that Tony Stark designed Misty's cybernetic arms, so we like get bits and pieces of her backstory as we go on.
Who designed it in 616, the metal arm?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it's anyone in particular, but yeah, I'd have to read up on that to see.
Yeah. Do we find out she was like they're having trouble profiling because it's just a random bald woman is like not a descriptor?
Yeah, just a bald woman with a tattoo is literally it. But the tattoo helps.
Yeah, because they say it's a gang tattoo. It's a Chinese type tattoo, not a Yakuza tattoo.
Yeah, and they find out, oh, this is a woman named Heather Douglas, also known as Heather Moon. And that's literally Moondragon in the mainline comics. In this version, she's a hired killer who died 22 years ago. So they're like, what? Like, can you run that back? Are you saying you saw a dead woman try to assassinate this guy? Like, that's crazy.
She also would be middle aged if she was still alive.
That's true, yeah. So she looks exactly the same as she did 22 years ago.
And Misty reveals the accident that took her hand is the reason she quit the NYPD, and she's like, you guys are kind of comfortable with me with a metal arm. And I'm like, the police are ableist?
Yeah. Like, you're going to sue that. You can, like, sue the NYPD for that, Misty. That's discrimination.
Yeah.
We cut now to Professor Charles Xavier talking to Nick Fury. And Fury's like, I want you to contact the mind of Galactus. And Xavier's like, listen, I would need Cerebro. And even with Cerebro, that's just for like going across the planet. I can't reach my mind out into the solar system like with just Cerebro. And Fury's like, don't worry, we got it. We can amplify your mental powers. We can amplify Cerebro. We've got a bottomless budget. And he's like, yeah, I can get every man, woman, and child in gold underpants around the world. And I'm like, damn, maybe you should be using that bottomless budget to help people, dude, instead of making like weapons of war and like ways to like, I guess, stop like a planet killer.
I mean, it turns out it worked out.
In this case, yeah, but like you've just been sitting on that. Maybe like, I don't know, end world hunger, like something.
Well,
Like, what are you
to
doing,
be
dude?
fair, this is 2006. This is like 1 year before the economy collapsed. Remember?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
So like,
there are consequences.
yeah, they incurred a lot of debt, I'd imagine, from this whole Galactus scenario.
Was it housing, or
Oh
was
my
it the fact we
gosh.
built multiple flying aircraft carriers to fight a space monster?
Yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
suspicious now which one it really was.
I think like the movie, new Fantastic Four movie did it correctly. Where like to realistically beat Galactus, you just need to mobilize all of the Earth, just end
Yes.
capitalism, just do everything from like the Baxter Building, whatever. You just got to do it at that point, just to
Yeah.
beat
The
Galactus.
world has to cooperate to beat him.
Yeah, yeah,
And this is kind of the whole part theme and idea of this story is like everyone's cooperating. It's this big crossover with you have the Ultimates, you have the Fantastic Four, you have the X-Men. Everyone is working together and
yeah.
cooperating to stop this.
You know how I beat Galactus?
How would you do that?
I know Dormammu exists in this universe because Doctor Strange exists. I'll let Dormammu out, see if he could handle Galactus. While we think of
Damn.
another solution. Modern probably, that's a great idea. You gotta admit it.
Yeah, modern problems require modern solutions.
The only thing that could be the Dark God is another Dark God.
Fighting fire with fire, baby. It's like that
Yeah?
meme of Thor and Ragnarok where Hela's like, you can't defeat me. And he's like, I know, but he can. Just point at Dormammu.
Oh, you'll love that movie because of Kate Blanchett.
I love it because of a lot of reasons, but that's neither here nor there. But Nick Fury also tries ordering Xavier around, and he's like, all right, hop to it. And Xavier just like glares at him, and he's like, or something. It's really funny. I also didn't even realize that that was going to offend Xavier because that's also ableist language because he's literally in a wheelchair. That's probably why he glared at him.
It's like, come on, man.
But yeah, and also like he's working with a lot of big egos here. Fury just can't be like ordering people around left and right. He's really ruffling some feathers with Reed Richards and Charles Xavier, and like you gotta cool it, all right? You're not the only big man in charge here.
Yeah. Misty is in her office when the surfer walks in, and he just blasts her, and we get a firefight.
Yeah, we get into a huge action sequence because he attacks her, blasts a hole through the building. We cut back to Captain America chatting with the Falcon, Sam Wilson, and they're just like talking about like how crazy things are. But then Fury comes out and is like, "Hey, there's like reports of an attack in Midtown." And Captain America's like, "All right, something I can hit. I gotta go."
I
Like this
understand
is,
this.
yeah. He's like, "I can deal with this for sure." And Sam's like, all right, you need backup, so let's go. And so it's
Yeah,
cool to see them team up because it's a classic partnership between Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson
yeah,
as Captain America and the Falcon, and now
yeah,
two Captains America in the modern day.
yeah. Glad you used the proper term, captains.
You know, I learned from the best.
Back at the office, Silver Surfer's on the Misty Knight knocks him out with the
Yeah,
fire
fire
extinguisher.
extinguisher.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't remember. And when he falls out the window, she then shoots it, which explodes. And I
Yes.
will say this is a weaker, so like not that he's weak, but he's a lot weaker than like the movies or 616, where he's basically a mini god.
Well, still, like, he falls out of a window. He withstands an explosion from, like, a fire extinguisher that gets shot as he's falling out the window. He lands and he gets up and he's still perfectly fine and still standing. And he just shoots electric blasts up at her.
But you can knock him down. It's not like causing people to turn into rocks yet. So as opposed to every other Silver Surfer.
Not yet, but this guy's still pretty OP.
It's like I don't know. He gets taken up by Misty Knight, or Misty Knight's able to hold her own against him. Like
Yeah,
even Julia Garner, so Silver Surfer, could have killed Misty Knight by now. Is my take.
that's true, yeah. A
Yeah,
little weaker, for sure.
yeah.
The next issue, issue 3, opens with Captain America and the Falcon dropping in on Silver Surfer. But of course, yeah, Sam gets shot out of the sky, unfortunately.
And Cap lands and breaks his fall with the shield on Silver Surfer, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, yeah. There's some cool action in this.
Yeah.
And then Captain America yells up to Misty Knight, and he's like, hey, because the Silver Surfer gets away. And he's like, hey, you're under arrest.
Because he's a racist.
Yeah, Misty's like, hey, fuck off. Like, what do you mean? Like, this guy attacked me in my building. I'm defending myself.
She uses the words, kiss my black butt, Captain Whitey.
Which, well-deserved for Ultimate Cap. I'm like, you're being a jackbooted thug right now. Like, this woman is a private investigator doing her job, and she was attacked. Like, stop arresting every person you see.
616 Captain America would have acted with a degree of like a old-fashioned gentleman, and
yeah. You know. But literally, like, he says to Sam, and I wrote this down because this was crazy. He was like, in Iceland, they have a bottomless well where they drown dames like her. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That's like domestic. Oh, it's not domestic abuse, it's just murder.
Yeah, I'm like, that's awful, Captain America. You're sick. You're supposed to be a paragon of virtue. You suck, Ultimate Cap.
Yeah. Misty Knight makes a lot of allusions to her butt. She goes like, I know Tony Stark, and you guys can kiss my ass.
Yeah, it's really funny. I'm very proud of her for telling off Captain America like that.
Yeah, he's a racist. Everyone should tell him off.
Exactly, and he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, in the Baxter building, Reed explains to Sue like the whole multiverse theory that was explained to them by Annihilus or Nihil in an earlier arc of Ultimate Fantastic Four.
Where the universes are stacked on top of each other, I believe.
Yeah, like the youngest universes are stacked on top, and as you go lower and lower, you get older universes in the multiverse. And then from this, he's ominously like, I have a horrible way that might kill Galactus, but if I tell Fury about this, I might be handing him like the ultimate weapon, so this could be really bad. This feels like a sign of his descent into becoming the Maker. Maybe in hindsight, like every time, I'm always looking for it. But like when stuff like this happens, I'm like, oh man, that's just one step further, Reed.
I don't know. I tried to look up information of why he becomes the Maker, like why the backstory of like the writers made him the Maker. But like I'm thinking it's like kind of like Beast, where like they accidentally, little by little, let him get darker and darker until it becomes Dark Beast.
Ultimate Reed's descent into the Maker does remind me a lot of Beast's character trajectory in the mainline comics in X-Men.
Which you do not like.
It's interesting because both characters do get passed around between different writers over the years. And so there's might be some inconsistency there, but you see like a gradual descent until someone finally decides, fuck it, let's just make him evil at the end.
I like it when characters go evil or when evil characters go bad. Because, like, why could Magneto and Rogue become good guys, but Beast cannot, you know?
That's fair, yeah. Like, it's interesting to see a hero become more morally ambiguous or just a straight up villain, like descend into that.
Yeah, because I think that is something people like about Ultimate Marvel, like, and like one of the reasons people love in 616 Magneto and Rogue so much, and why MJ and Peter should not get back together after Paul.
We've talked about this. I'm not going to get back into this again. We have a whole episode. Listen to our episode about Paul if you want to hear us yell at each other for like an hour about this.
We were not yelling at each other. We even got ourselves a moderator.
Yeah, so that we didn't kill each other. That's
you
exactly
can't kill me. You don't even know which city I live in.
You don't know that. Maybe I got a PI on you.
You didn't even know what a PI was a few hours ago.
I knew what a PI was.
You know my point.
Anyways, then we see like this whole page that's like shots of like this silver cult that has been spreading around the globe. Different cities like Paris, London, Berlin, New York City.
I think they're called the Silvermen.
Yeah, the Silvermen. All right, it's like, it's getting really scary out there.
Yeah.
And then the next day, Xavier's like machinery is being set up like for his Cerebra amplifier. And Misty Knight is in interrogation.
Stark does this weird thing when he walks in and is talking to his love, allegedly. And talks about hanging out with Amanda. I have to read this. Amanda Sheardem. And I Google that. That's a famous photographer who just got divorced. So, anyone in the audience wants a chance with a 6-year-old photographer? Now's your chance.
Yeah, shoot your shot while you can,
Yeah.
It's not often that this happens.
But he even promises, I don't know if it's Black Widow or it's like someone else in Black Widow's. My theory is like she's messing around so far. Because he goes like, I'm helping Fury, and Fury's not a woman.
Oh man, yeah. Well, luckily, like Tony comes in to help out Misty after she's being interrogated by Captain America and the Falcon and everyone. He explains that Misty saved like a bunch of people from some terrorists in Manhattan, and that's how she lost her arm was in an explosion when she was saving lives. And that's how she got the arm that he made for her. But of course, he's being Tony Stark and also a Warren Ellis character, so he says, she's a thoroughly wonderful girl with an extraordinarily fine bottom. And I'm like, are you okay?
It's a horn dog, but also they have been making a lot of references to how good her butt is.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Misty
Yeah.
Knight's butt in this, and I'm like, guys, let's pump the brakes.
You could taste it, just don't smell it.
Did they say that?
Not in this comic.
What are you even talking about then?
It's a butt joke. You won't get it.
Okay. Disgusting. Yeah, and then Misty's trying to get everyone to listen to her, but of course they all ignore her because she has other things to do.
I'm like, what else is there more important than saving the world? Because, like, if you do your PI work in a day, none of it matters. There's no point in money if Galactus eats the planet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then Xavier starts like working on the Cerebra amplifier with Jean Grey's there, and they're making like first contact with Galactus. He like starts up the amplifier, and like it gets really scary because like his eyes turn like purple and everything. And he gets a lot of like psychic feedback that like electrocutes him basically, and he's like, oh, Galactus hates us. Like he's like, we desecrated Galactus just by touching it. Like Galactus really is repulsed by and despises humankind.
The thing is, Galactus in 616, you kind of just go like, look, it's not cool as eating innocent people, but it's who he is. It's like he's eating food to him.
Yeah.
We're just ants on a sandwich. This one just seems Galactus just hates life and wants to. They say like it's like a kid seeing spiders. He just wants to step on.
Yeah.
Them.
Yeah.
So like
we're just spiders. We're just nasty arachnids.
You know, in a way that makes I keep bringing it up because I love the moment. When 616 Galactus shows up to Ultimate Earth and they freak out even more. It makes sense because they're like, this one, because 616 Galactus is such a bigger deal. Like, he doesn't even care you guys could hit him. It's just like, you're my food, you're in my way. This one is like out to get you.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
And so Galactus is pissed off by being like contacted by Xavier. So he fires something at Earth. And so Iron Man and Captain Marvel go out to stop it. It seems like a giant missile. And they like put up a force shield to like intercept the missile, and it bounces off, but then it stops midair. And then who emerges? But it's not a missile. It's the Silver Surfer.
Yeah. And he opens his mouth.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's horrifying because he like starts attacking, and then he literally like opens his jaws so wide, and he has like 1 billion teeth in his
multiple rows of flat teeth.
Yeah, it's insane. I'm like, this is disgusting. Like, whose idea was this that we're gonna like not only make the Silver Surfer a cult leader, we're gonna give him wings, and then we're gonna give him multiple rows of disgusting teeth to bite people with?
I believe the wings are just a surfboard folded up on its back, though.
Yeah, that's a different design. Good for selling toys, if you ask me.
Yeah. Because I believe there are some surfboards and snowboards you just like you crunch up and you know you're from the northern states. And, you know, like, this is your people.
Yeah, from the Northwest. I know what you mean. Well, that is the end of issue 3. And then we pick up right where we left off with issue 4. And Iron Man comes up from behind the Silver Surfer and knocks him out with, like, he reroutes all power to, like, his left arm and, like, electrocutes him. And then meanwhile, we have an attack of the Triskelion.
By Moondragon.
And Misty's like, told you.
She disguised herself as a aircraft crewman. Because we see the uniform just like...
And so Misty's like, yeah, told you. And she literally is like, call Captain America. I got something for him to kiss.
Because he just shoots her.
Yeah, because she shoots her because she's like, I'm standing on business here. We got to deal with this. I've been working on this problem since issue 1. Then Reed calls Nick Fury while they're all in the middle of this battle, and Fury's like, what do you want? And Reed's like, all right, I got the ultimate weapon. And now there's a scene of like Reed and Sue being distraught because now they're like, we handed over like information on like this horrifying weapon to Nick Fury, the top cop of like this whole like military industrial complex that they have going.
He created, I think, like half the villains at this point.
Yeah,
accidentally.
Nick Fury's done some terrible thing in Ultimate Marvel. Like the number of times he's tried to recreate the super soldier serum and the horrible things he's created from that.
He's made all of Spider-Man's villains at this point.
Yeah, he's made those villains. He's like the Hulk, like you name it. Like it's been bad. Like nothing good has come out of Nick Fury's meddling.
I think this is a weird but interesting thing where Reed goes to comfort Sue and she goes like, just don't touch me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
There's some trouble in paradise.
I get it, but also it seems like this is just like the beginning of like a troubled relationship because we know we'll eventually go there. So that maybe this is me reading into it like one-off writing, but
yeah, Ultimate Reed and Sue's relationship is not going to get better.
Yeah,
it's looking pretty rocky now. It's really tense between them.
Yeah,
and the next day, Professor X is talking with Jean and explaining again the revulsion that Galactus has with humanity, and they're talking about like this rise of these silver men, like this cult, and how they're like spreading around the face of the earth.
Been on Earth for a bit, and Professor X is like, I kind of did get scared touching Galactus because I saw all, felt all, just for a little bit.
Yeah, and he's like, I think Galactus freaked out. And Jean's like, freaked out? And Professor X is like, I do on occasion like to be down with the young people.
This is how I know, like, it's old, because freaked out is just like a common thing old people say now, like us.
Like everyone says that. That's not really like a young hip thing to say or whatever. That's not trendy for young people to say.
Or maybe it's because the young people are now old.
That's true. Yeah, but like everyone says freaked out.
Yeah.
But it's not something that Professor X would say, that's for sure.
Yeah. He would say it now if he was like around now though.
Yeah, probably. And Jean has an idea. She's like, well, I think we have a really good defense if we combine the vision with this cerebro amplification device. So there's a lot of ideas coming together between this and Reed's like whatever like crazy idea that sounds kind of like, you noted this down, Josh, that it seems like the ultimate nullifier from the main universe.
Ultimate nullifier.
Yeah, if you will. Because like the ultimate nullifier in the original Galactus trilogy was literally just the weapon that the Watcher has the Human Torch retrieve, and they use it to threaten Galactus. And he's like, oh, the ultimate nullifier. Okay, I'm leaving. Like, I'm going.
I bet he thought you guys are dicks. I'm just trying to eat. You guys show up with a revolver?
Yeah, like, I'm hungry, all right? Stop threatening to, like, nuke me, and we'll be cool.
They have Moondragon in custody, and they're like, Sam goes, oh, I work with clones all the time. I'm like, okay, that's new. But the spoilers for the clone saga that's coming up.
Yeah.
But he goes, I work with clones all the time, but this is a clone. And she goes, I'm a priestess. We've been bred and trained for 20 years.
Which this is like kind of similar to like Moondragon in a sense in the main universe, because like Heather Douglas in the main universe, she's like a human, but it's very complicated because she's like raised by like the Eternals on Titan and like mentor of Titan, and she was like raised under the priests of Pama, and she like has psychic powers and like martial arts expertise and everything.
Was she in the Eternals movie or no?
No, she wasn't in the Eternals movie. Because it's funny because she's born human, but she's also raised by the Eternals and everything. So it's an interesting backstory there.
Yeah.
But I don't find her the most interesting character, to be fair. I also just kind of find her annoying from what I read in the 70s Avengers comics. I was like, oh, not you.
Moondragon reveals all these Moondragons and cold people are heralds of Galactus because Galactus is using a lot of energy to get to Earth, so he wants something to soften it up. Chew the meat first, and he could eat like the chewed up beans.
Yeah, exactly. He wants to tenderize his meat,
Yeah.
He wants to season it a little bit.
He needs a microwave.
So yeah, literally like these Silver Surfers, there's multiple of them, but they're heralds of Galactus. They soften up the Earth. They like get the human population nice and ready for him. And so Steve is like, all right, well, if this is the problem, then let's go hit the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
He's like, they're also messing with the perception of and the idea of God, which a good Christian boy like Steve Rogers cannot handle.
Yeah,
so he's going to go beat him up.
Steve, fuck up some heretics.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck up some godless hippies too.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, you know what? We're gonna show you how we did it back in my day. Greatest generation. I'll show you why.
But they didn't do that.
Yeah,
they are mostly tolerant.
He's gonna do to them what he did to Hank Pym after he found Janet being beaten half to death.
I will also say, doesn't this carry over to the MCU? Because there's a scene in the MCU where she goes like, "Here's a god," and Steve goes, God doesn't dress like that. I'm pretty sure about that.
He's like, there's only one God, ma'am. I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
Yeah, that's how the Greatest Generation should do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's okay to be religious, obviously, but
Yeah.
like, Jesus, stop going on about nobody believes in God anymore. Like,
Those
chill out.
are boomers. Those are boomers.
Yeah, that's such a boomer thing to say. So then Captain America and Captain Marvel go to attack the Surfer at his headquarters where Misty cased him out earlier.
And he's using the same tactic of using the shield to break his fall on a guy's head.
Yeah, oh my gosh. And they're like fucking up the Surfer. And there's this really funny exchange of dialogue because they're both captains, so they're calling each other captain, which is really cute, honestly.
Yeah.
Because like Captain Marvel's like, Captain, do you have a thing about kicking people when they're down? And then Captain America's like, no, Captain. I always figured that was the best time to kick them.
That is not Steve.
That's very much like Steve Rogers in the Ultimate Universe because he literally did that to Bruce Banner in the Ultimates. Kicked him right in the face after he reverted to Bruce Banner from the Hulk.
Ultimate Steve is the guy who just punch you in the dick because he thinks it gives you an advantage.
Yeah, he's literally like, I'll bite, I'll pull hair, I'll twist nipples, I'll do whatever it takes to win. As he said in Ultimate Nightmare, it's about winning. It's not about pride or glory or honor. He's like, fuck that.
I forgot he just gave a supervillain speech.
Yeah, and then he stabs the Red Guardian in the chest. Like, my hero, everyone.
They also use electricity, which I know is because they're like, okay, we found out he's weak to electricity. Just keep shocking him over and over again. I think they use electricity grenade. I can't remember, electricity grenades or something.
Yeah, exactly. And so they got him, and they have one of the Surfers in custody.
Yeah.
And then, meanwhile, we cut back to Jean talking to the Vision, who's been given a makeover.
She's a sexy golden robot now.
Yeah, she's like this shiny gold female android. So,
Horn dogs.
Okay. Yeah, I bet there was a lot of Rule 34 artwork that came out of that one. I don't even want to think about it.
Which mechanic was like there, and they're like, hey, we gotta repair this robot, make it like, what if we make her a lady? What if we just give her like lady parts?
What if she's sexy and naked?
I mean, like, I guess we don't know what the voice sounded like, so you could interpret it any way, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just who the Vision was meant to be, Who are we to question it?
Yeah, robots don't have gender. I've seen
the
Avengers movies. Vision doesn't have a penis.
So far as we know.
Yeah.
Nothing's been confirmed or denied yet.
I believe they've made concept art of him with a penis, but they just never released it.
Of course you would know that.
I don't know what you mean by that. I'm not a horn dog.
Of course not. Methinks he doth protest too much. But yeah, Jean's convincing the Vision, like, we want you to, like, deliver a message to Galactus, because Vision's at first very hesitant and is like, oh, I don't think I should be fighting. I was meant to, like, intake and disseminate information. And Jean's like, no, we want you to do that same thing, but to Galactus. And meanwhile, Reed is like stressed out and he's snapping at people left and right because like people are asking him questions and he's losing his temper. And he's like saying to himself, like, can't you people see I'm trying to commit a crime against science and nature here? He's really stressed about this and he's really having like a crisis of conscience over this whole thing.
He's kind of being dick to his minions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which this is not going to be the last time, that's for sure. It might be the first time. It won't be the last.
The comic where like the Avengers like with Sunspot fight the Maker?
Yeah. Oh, that's Al Ewing's New Avengers.
Yeah, from way back in the
I love the New Avengers run that Al Ewing did.
He just kidnaps his own men while they're eating ice cream and just uses them for experiments or something.
Yeah. It's a very fun book. I love what Ewing does with the Maker in that. And I think, it carries on to US Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah. To all those who haven't read, I would recommend Al Ewing's New Avengers, US Avengers. Just a quick shout out, because that's some of his earlier work that I think is overlooked.
We also met Al Ewing. He's a very nice and pleasant man. Very kind.
Sweet guy, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Very big heart, too.
Yeah, very soft-spoken.
Lots of humility. And we saw him in the bathroom. He took a whiz.
Well, we saw him going into the bathroom.
I assume he took a whiz because I saw him come out, too.
All right, well, I'm glad it all came out okay for him. But yes, big fans of Al Ewing.
Yeah.
And so, we see this whole page of a giant structure being assembled that for Reed's weapon. It's being assembled out of adamantium. They've gotten like as much adamantium as they can find. And then Fury like reveals the next morning that like he got nowhere trying to interrogate the Silver Surfer. But then he gets a notice that the Galactus is approaching. And at the same time, as they're on red alert about Galactus approaching the planet, then an army of the Moondragon clones, the Heather Douglas clones, just start like emerging from the water and storming the Triskelion. So they're on trouble on two fronts, from space and just on the ground too.
I found out why all those cult members are women now.
Why is that?
It's because you need women to impregnate to make the clones.
Well, that's different from like the Silver Surfer cult, though.
I think but the Silver Surfer cult is all women. I think they're using the women of the cult. I just injecting them with the Moondragon. They give birth to a Moondragon clone.
Yeah, but the Moondragon cult and clones are different than the Silver Surfer cult, because the Moondragon are trying to kill the Silver Surfer.
No, Misty's trying to kill the Silver Surfer, I thought.
No, Misty was like 3 different sides. It's very like complex.
Okay. I just got back from work.
It's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
It's convoluted.
Okay. I thought the Silver Surfer cult for a second was being used to make Moondragons to work for Galactus for a second.
No, the Moondragons is like its own separate cult that has been bred for like years for Galactus's arrival, because they want to be ready to meet him.
Yeah.
But for some reason that's different than like the cult that the Silver Surfer is starting, because they were trying to like shoot down the Silver Surfer. So it's a lot. Okay. The inclusion of all these Moondragon clones seemed unnecessary to me.
It's just there for the big final battle where you want to have like Fury and the S.H.I.E.L.D. guys use guns.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have the Ultimates hit something. So, but yeah, we're in the final battle here. We're in the end game, as they say. Tinky Winky.
We're in the end game.
Or Pink. Yeah, as they say. Yeah, because there's this big shootout between these Moondragon clones and the S.H.I.E.L.D. troops at the Triskelion, and Captain America and the Ultimates, like Iron Man and Captain Marvel, really are the ones. Like, I don't know where the fuck the rest of the Ultimates are, but they show up to fight, and there's a big climactic action sequence between the soldiers and Captain America and Iron Man fighting the clone troops. Meanwhile, Professor Xavier's hooking up to Cerebro, and he's like, we have to speak to Galactus now. It's a simple mind, but advanced technology.
Yeah, he just doesn't have an advanced way of thinking. He goes, this is gross, I want to kill it.
Yeah, literally. So he's like, we have to talk to him now. It's now or never. And meanwhile, they also have a contingency, because finally the X-Men show up. Just when things seem lost in the battle with the clones, Cyclops, Storm, Wolverine, and Colossus, they all arrive to lend a hand to the Ultimates in the big action scene on the ground, which is a lot of fun. Very big, giant, like blockbuster action sequence.
And this is a scene I do not like, where Xavier goes to Vision and goes like, put all the thoughts into you and shoot them at Galactus.
Yeah. Xavier accesses the Vision's like abilities to access people's hopes and dreams, and literal dreams and thoughts through the Cerebro, because that's how Vision was like contacting people in Ultimate Nightmare, was through their dreams and mentally. So they combine their powers to communicate with the entire world at the same time, and asks for everyone's thoughts, their ideas, their fantasies, their ambitions, so they can shoot all of that up at Galactus.
Their love, the power of heart.
I feel like it's the power of like just the combined might of like human minds together.
They say love a few times though.
Maybe once or twice, but this does remind me of, this definitely seems like an homage to X-Men 65, where Professor X and the original X-Men are fighting like these aliens called like the Xenox or something stupid, and they literally create this circuit so that telepathically Professor X and Jean, they contact like the entire world and have everyone combine their minds into one unit to basically repel this alien force. And that's kind of what's happening here. It's like the same thing. It felt like a cool little nod to that. I was like, okay, awesome. Like, we're doing this. To me, it feels like this is humanity like combining the power of all their minds to like fight off Galactus and show the potential of what humankind can do together, and how far we can come if we just like cooperate with each other.
To a certain degree, but I never really liked it. Maybe because it's such a used trope now of like humans using the power of their internal hearts all combined, like a family or like as a species, and just using their our goody two shoesness and fighting Galactus. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with this hippie laser.
Is that what we're calling it? The hippie laser that they're firing?
Or the Mr. Rogers laser. We're using the power of Mr. Rogers to beat the giant god. I'm not okay with that.
They're all just thinking, won't you be my neighbor? Won't you be my neighbor?
Hey, look, no! We've done this trope so many times at this point. I'm tired. Mr. Rogers is not the solution to all the world's problems. Unless we all think like Mr. Rogers.
I think Mr. Rogers is a hero.
He is a hero, but unless we all think like Mr. Rogers, it's not going to work. Which I guess we are in this case,
I
but that's not
think
the point.
I think Mr. Rogers could take down Galactus in a 1v1 fight.
Did you see the fan comic where Mr. Rogers accidentally picks up Thor's hammer?
I love that. I love that fan comic. I wrote an article for
Yeah.
Comic Book Resources about that.
Really? Oh, I gotta check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So, guys,
it was a few
audience,
years ago.
Nabeel was a writer on CBR, so if you have any complaints about CBR, here's your guy to hate mail.
Yeah, direct them all at me like people were sure to do in the comments for my articles. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, the Mr. Rogers Ray is being successful, and then meanwhile, Reed is like getting ready to fire his weapon, and Sue's there, and Reed's like, Sue, you got to get out of here, and Sue's like, no, I'm not leaving. Like, screw you. So they're still not doing too great, but he basically explains that what they're doing is they're accessing the youngest universe from like the top of the stack of the multiverse. And what they're going to do is that this is a universe where the Big Bang hasn't even occurred. And so they're sending like a nuke to that universe, and they're going to like detonate the Big Bang in that universe. They're going to open the gateway to this multiverse, and they're going to fire the Big Bang of this universe at Galactus, which is insane. That's a crazy plan.
Reed can now destroy the planet if he wants with that much power.
Like, that's insane. You were not joking. You handed Fury like the ultimate weapon with that one.
Yeah. And Sue is upset because Reed didn't really fill her in until the last second. He's just kind of bossing her around, which he hasn't done so far in any of the comics. They've been kind of equals. If anything, Sue is a bit more dominant than Reed and more assertive. But this is the first time Reed's kind of pushing her around. It kind of seems as kind of a dick, especially the way we see him treat other people, the way when he pushes her around.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, their relationship's not looking too great. This might have consequences going forward in Ultimate Fantastic Four. I guess we'll have to see.
I don't know how much of this is like this was the point, or this has always been that they were always planning to have a bad relationship with Ultimate Sue and Reed.
That's such a good question. Because Ultimate Fantastic Four also does change hands in terms of different writers coming on and different creative teams. So maybe the plan like kind of shifted as things like flowed naturally in the series.
Yeah.
But the Big Bang is fired at Galactus, and it's reported that it damages 20% of the swarm, and Fury's like, that's it? 20%? We're so cooked. Like, I can't believe it. That we're done.
Because this was expensive. They used adamantium and vibranium to build this, is what
like
they said.
They put everything into this. Like, they did everything into this, and like the cerebro amplification device, that was it. But honestly, it works. Because the Silver Surfer vanishes, Galactus starts leaving, because they were like, they're debriefing afterwards, and they're like, so it looks like Galactus decided we weren't worth the trouble.
Yeah.
So, which is good. It shows that like humanity fought back sufficiently.
It's the porcupine strategy where the lion will win, but the porcupine will just hurt the lion in the process.
Yeah, so it's like not worth it. I'll find food elsewhere.
Yeah. And Fury is sending Vision out to tell the world, humanity will kick your ass if you come to our planet.
Yeah, no, they're actually sending Vision into space with records of like the weapon that Reed designed, like the gun design and the science behind it, because now they're sending Vision to drive Galactus away from other planets and warn these aliens that humans are not to be trifled with.
They can kick the hell out of anything, as Fury says, because they're going to build a great space wall.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's not looking good. It's like Tony Stark in Age of Ultron being like, I see a suit of armor around the Earth. Sounds like a Cold War, old Tony. And so, yeah, Professor X and Jean are like recovering, even though they went to the ER because they expended their powers so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like all's well that ends well, thanks to like the combined might of S.H.I.E.L.D, the Ultimates, X-Men, Fantastic Four. They did it. And then Fury's like, Cap was questioning if there's a God anymore. And now I'm just saying, like, when I get to those pearly gates, is God going to put up a fight or just move over and let me sit down? And I'm like, that's so dangerously arrogant, my dude. You're getting a little too big for your britches there.
I'm glad real Galactus will show up and kick your ass again.
Yeah, like, oh my God. Like, this is not looking good. Like, he's getting very full of himself. And this, like, no one man should have all this power at his fingertips. Like,
I'm concerned that Reed even knows how to make this bomb.
Yeah, And now Fury has all the ingredients he needs for this. So, like, the world is saved, but at the same time, now you got other problems to deal with. Like, Nick Fury's kind of going mad with power over here.
Yeah.
And, like, they have some really crazy, dangerous weapons. Like, you can start a big bang in a universe and fire it at someone. Like,
It's
this is
terrible.
not looking good. But that's the end, really. And all in all, like, I thought it was a really fun, like, sci-fi action blockbuster.
Oh yeah, it's very much a great Thousands Arrow sci-fi story of humanity finds a conspiracy of what made them, what's here. It's this big threat that's coming, that's colossal. And humans
Yeah.
don't even win. They use the power of their like heart to push it away, and they hurt it a bit, and it causes them to move away. Like it's a very classic 2000 story. I love it.
And at the same time, too, what's interesting is like the original Galactus trilogy in the main universe, that was really just like the culmination of a lot of like Stanley and Jack Kirby's work on Fantastic Four and just the Fantastic Four as a team and as a title, as a series. But what's cool is that this is like a big crossover of the three major franchises. You know, if you exclude like Spider Man, who's just like your friendly neighborhood Spider Man,
Yeah,
this is like the Ultimates, X-Men, Fantastic Four, all joining forces, all coming together and like pulling their resources and showing this is how far the Ultimate Marvel universe has come, which is awesome. Like this big
yeah,
crossover event that like has them literally repelling like Galactus, who's planning on devouring the planet. It shows just how well defended Earth is and like humanity is for the most part in some really good hands. So I think it was cool to see like all these different forces combining their might for such a big scale event. It was a really satisfying conclusion to the trilogy.
yeah.
The Moondragon clone army felt a little extra, like they really just needed the Ultimates to hit something and the X-Men at the end.
You just need like the final battle, or like if at the end of Peacemaker or Star Wars, where there's just armies throwing each other themselves at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. It did feel like that. And also, I don't know, Misty Knight's storyline was so interesting, and I felt like she kind of just vanished near the end of the series, and I
It
thought she
also
was going to
doesn't
do
really
more.
go anywhere because the Silver Surfer being doing the cult thing isn't really that necessary. Because
Yeah, I mean, I think that made sense and was like an interesting, like down to earth, like human angle, like from the ground about what's going on. I think Misty Knight added a lot of that, like a very grounded, just human perspective on things, just like
yeah,
a PI, like doing her job, and then she gets involved in all of this. And like it kind of gives us like a more grounded look at like what's happening instead of just being in meetings in the Triskelion and the Baxter building, like discussing everything.
yeah,
Like you get to see someone experiencing this, but at the same time, like as soon as she gets taken in by the Ultimates and like they get all the information about the cults and like the Moondragons, then she's kind of sidelined after that.
I'm assuming she's in the background shooting at the Moondragons because that's all you could
Probably.
do. Yeah, that's all you could do at a certain point.
That's true. I just wish we got more follow up from her in like the last couple of
Maybe
issues.
we will with like some of the street level events that are
Yeah.
coming up.
Maybe in like Ultimate Spider Man or something.
Yeah, I hope so. Especially
Yeah,
because
that'd be
like,
cool.
she has a connection to NYPD and Jean the Wolf.
Yeah,
Woof
exactly.
woof.
That's like the most Spider-Man part of the crossover that we've gotten. That's like the fullest extent that we saw anything Spider-Man related in this crossover.
Yeah,
And I'm thirsty for more.
yeah.
Give me pictures of Spider-Man.
I know I keep bringing up. I really can't wait till we do the real Galactus just shows up and everyone is just like, it's over. We can't even fight him.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Because the Big Bang thing. I don't even think. I think 616 Galactus could take it.
Yeah, he might be able to, honestly. He survived the ending of one universe into the beginning of a new one. Like,
Yeah,
that's insane.
yeah. Are you guys like terrified about this guy like metaphorically devouring the planet? He just will eat the planet.
Yeah, he might actually get stronger if you, like, launch a Big Bang at him.
Yeah.
Any other final thoughts, Josh?
No, I think I said my piece, man.
Yeah, me too. I think it was a great series. I thought the whole Galactus trilogy was really fun and really exciting. And
Yeah.
I thought like it was so interesting to see this like new take on the Galactus trilogy and that story and how it took place in Ultimate Marvel. So I was fully invested the whole time.
I think we continue it next because I think it's Ultimate Vision.
Yes, next up we have Ultimate Vision, the miniseries, issues 1 through 5,
And what about Zero? Did we skip
and
Zero?
0. Yes, 0 through 5, really.
So it's really
So
6 issues.
Yeah, 6 issues of Ultimate Vision. So that's going to continue the story. So I'm excited for that. I can't wait to read it. In the meantime, until next time, if you want to get in touch with us, Josh, where can our listeners email us?
ultimatecomicspodcast@gmail.com.
You can email us with your thoughts about the comics we read, about the episodes, about comics in general, Marvel, any of its characters, and we'd love to get back to you and read your email on an episode of the show. And if that's a little too old school for you, then please follow us on social media. We have social media at Ultimate Comics Podcast. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We post images of the comics we read on Instagram. We have reels that are also TikToks, and we also have full episodes with video on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for listening. Until next time, take care and make mine Ultimate Marvel. Bye.